Hey, everybody. This is Nettie Nonstop, bringing you information and edutainment. Okay, so we're going to get right into it today, folks. Today's topic is one that is very near and dear to my heart. All right, near and dear to my heart. We are in episode 7, and we're talking about Letitia James moving to seize President Trump's assets. That's what we're talking about today. And, I'll just bring her to the stage so you can see who we are dealing with, folks. Yes, who we are dealing with. Letitia James. She is uh, 65 years old. She is the first Black woman to hold a statewide office in New York. She's the first woman to be elected Attorney General. She graduated from Howard University School of Law, and she began her career as a public defender. Yes, folks, this is Attorney General AG of New York, Letitia James. And she is talked about today, or I'm talking about her and her actions today because, frankly, I think they're reprehensible. I think this woman is the epitome of nuts, okay? The epitome of nuts. I think she is just horrible. And I'm just really upset. I'm so upset that she is attempting to seize President Trump's assets. She's attempting to seize his real estate holdings. And she takes joy and glee and pleasure in it. She's constantly tweeting about it. And let's just go down the line of what's really going on here, folks. What's really going on? And I'm going to pull up some information as we go along for you guys to see. And we're going to get into it. We're going to discuss it, because I think this lady is just disgusting. She, oh my goodness, she boils my blood. She boils my blood, you know? And this is the thing, folks. Uh, Before I get into it. This is the thing. This chick right here, what has she ever built? What has she ever built? How dare she? How dare she try to tear down what somebody else has built? She was a public defender. This woman is despicable and a clown. I consider her to be a clown. All right. What business has she ever built? None. None. But she gets gleeful. She gets joyful, you guys. She gets joyful about tearing down someone else. And not just anybody, a former president of the United States, and even before that, an icon for business and his business acumen. Okay, President Trump. And let me just move her off the screen because she boils my blood, you guys. She really does. But I want you to see some other things that I have lined up here. And I'll just bring them on up. Okay. Well, what's going on with this whole case? The Cliff Notes version is that she brought a civil lawsuit. She brought a civil lawsuit against a former president, Donald J. Trump. Okay, that's what she did. This is what she did. Okay. And in this case, she has won a grand total right now at $454 million. Yes, folks, that's $500 million. Okay. For a victimless crime. This is a victimless crime. Let's just read the statement that her office put out when she won. Okay. Attorney General James wins landmark victory in case against Donald Trump. This is from her office. New York Attorney General Letitia James today released the following statement after Justice Arthur F. Engoron of New York State Supreme Court ruled in her favor in her office's civil fraud case against Donald Trump. The other individual defendants and the Trump Organization entities ordering the defendants to pay more than $450 million in total, which represents $363.8 million in disgorgement and prejudgment interest. Then she goes on to say, today, justice has been served. This is a tremendous victory for this state, this nation, and for everyone who believes that we must all play by the same rules, even former presidents. For years, Donald Trump engaged in massive fraud to falsely inflate his net worth and unjustly enrich himself, his family, and his organization. While he may have authored The Art of the Deal, our case revealed that his business was based on the art of the steal. Okay, that sickens me right there. That sickens me right there because President Trump did not give himself the loans. He went through lending institutions. And believe it or not, they don't just give money out. Trust me, there are a lot of people right now trying to get loans from banks who cannot. So clearly, even though some of these activities, lending activities, took place many moons ago, those people, those businesses, those lending institutions want to be on the right side of risk. Meaning, they're not going to give up any more than what they see that boom, 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 boom on paper you're good for. Yeah. Yeah. So going after a former president due to the AG saying that he inflated his net worth and got loans based upon a inflated net worth. And so we're going to sue him, Jimmy. This is just sickening. It's sickening because what this is really is lawfare. Well, the people still believe in him. Jimmy, why? They keep voting for him. Everything we come up with against him, he seems to break through like Teflon. What else? What else? What else can we throw on the board? It's sickening. It's sickening. So let's go to the next thing that I like to show you guys, and we'll look at it and see what's going on. What's going on in Letitia James' wackadoodle world? Okay. So let's talk about the assets. I mean, President Trump has done a lot. He's done a lot. Let's just check it out here. Okay. So, what type of assets are we talking about? Well, Trump Park Avenue. All right. This is a property that is included as an asset on Mr. Trump's statement of financial condition from 2011 to 2021, with values ranging from 90.9 million and 350 million. Ooh. That's just one of the properties. Trump Tower. Hey, who hasn't wanted to go to Trump Tower in New York? I haven't been. And I hope that one day I may get to go. But we'll see. So Trump Tower, they want a piece of that. They got it all listed in this document here, you guys. 40 Wall Street in New York. Seven Springs in Westchester County, New York. Nike Town, New York. Trump International Hotel and Tower in Vegas. Vegas, baby. He has a partnership called the Vornado Partnership. Trump Golf and Social Clubs. Mar-a-Lago. Trump National Golf Club in Westchester. Trump National Golf Course in Charlotte. Okay, the list goes on, you guys. He has a lot of bleeping properties. But this is the thing. Nobody gave him that. Oh, yeah, I know that his father had some amassed a fortune in real estate, but from what his father put together to what he has taken it to 10x it, 100x it, he had to put in some work. He had to cut some deals. He had to be an astute business person to amass all of those properties. Absolutely. So this is the type of wealth that we're talking about. Now, the next thing that I want to show you guys is something that comes from or the other side of the victimless crime. So they're charging, have indicted, and now put a civil judgment against President Trump. All right. But the flip side of it is, well, the lending institutions, you're not going after them. Dirty. Dirty. This woman is as dirty as can be. Now let's bring this up. Deutsche Bank. So Deutsche Bank is one of the lending institutions, okay? And let's just read what they had to say about all of this with regards to Trump and his net worth and his assets. To Deutsche Bank official says large changes to net worth like Trump's. A Deutsche Bank Wealth Management Group managing director testified Tuesday that the bank anticipates that the net worth of high wealth clients like Donald Trump can be elevated on self-reported financial statements, but it wouldn't necessarily stop the bank from issuing the loan, and didn't for Trump's loans. New York AG Letitia James has alleged Trump and his company defrauded Deutsche Bank by submitting his inflated net worth statements to get better rate, and in doing so also violated loan requirements called covenants. This is so interesting that the government can come in after the fact, after the deal has been done, many years later, many years later, and then say, "Oh, you inflated your net worth, so guess what? I'm just going to take all your assets." It's beyond disgusting. And this is the thing, folks. This is what I want you to know, that it doesn't matter whether you are Democrat or Republican or independent or Green Party. This is un-American. If they can do this to President Trump, you don't have a snowball's chance in hell. You don't. None of us do. And by the way, I think Biden hired, it's either 85,000 or 185,000. I must be conservative. New IRS agents. Who do you think they're coming for? Back to the story at hand, guys. Back to the story at hand. Let's go back to it. I'm going to add it back up so you can see it. All right, so we're still on the Deutsche Bank article here. And they further go on to say that in 2013, the bank's underwriters, and underwriters are very conservative people, conservative in calculating risk. The bank's underwriters adjusted Trump's net worth by about 50%, from more than 4 billion to roughly 2.65 billion. Okay, so they adjusted his net worth down. But David Williams, who's worked in the bank's private wealth management division for 17 years, okay, 17 years, said the bank wasn't phased. It's not unusual or atypical for any clients providing financial statements to be adjusted to this level or to this extent. He testified in the New York civil fraud trial. He said it's not unusual. It's not unusual. Yet we have Letitia James, who thinks that she is a real estate tycoon. She is up there with Warren Buffett in terms of investing. She knows. This woman was a public defender. No knock on public defenders. I think you do a very nobleman's job, nobleman. However, this lady is crazy, crazy. She never built a damn thing in her life. I said it. She's never built a damn thing in her life. She's a nut. And this is what happens when you just go too far. You just go, she's off the deep end. She's she's off the deep end. On the left. She's too far. So next, let's take a look at something else I want you to see. Sorry, I pulled up the wrong clip. Yeah, that's not the one I want you guys to see right now. But I'm going to pull it up and we're going to check out more about this Letitia James. This woman is just dirty as they come. And she really needs to be ashamed of herself. Yeah, I said it. She needs to be ashamed of herself. This is a dirty. Oh my goodness. Horrible. New York, I don't see how you do it. Okay, so she's saying that he overinflated the value of his properties. And one in particular, Mar-a-Lago, right? And she said it was only worth like 18 million. Now, I want you to hear what this real estate expert says on CNN of all places. Of all places, CNN. I want you to hear what they have to say about it, about Mar-a-Lago and its what her estimated valuation.
You need at least 30 days to get any of these properties sold. But the property that you alluded to, Mar-a-Lago, potentially that could be something that could be sold quickly. I think the valuation is something in the hundreds of millions. And I think there could be a buyer for something like that.
And that would be literally, if you're talking about doing that between now and Monday, that's picking up the phone, calling someone, and then literally writing a check.
Yeah, I mean, there could be plenty of international people who want to buy that property. I mean, there's properties that are priced at 150 and 200 million that are nearby that. And Palm Beach is like the NVIDIA, excuse me, of real estate. It's just shot up like a rocket. And people do want to live there. They've moved there. So I think that would be the best case scenario as to proper. If he's trying to sell quickly, I would encourage that.
So, all right, now that's 240 million estimated. I mean, who knows? You know, he's a desperate seller. In this case, someone picks up the phone and makes that call this week. So I don't know what it'd be. That's still half of what it would be.
You need at least 30 days to get any of these properties sold. But
okay, folks. So you heard her, you heard what she said, right? Bess Friedman, CEO of luxury real estate firm, Brown Harris Stevens. You heard what she said. That Mar-a-Lago could be worth upwards of 240 plus million dollars. That pretty much that is hot real estate all around it. And yet we have Letitia James come and say that, oh, Mar-a-Lago's only worth 18 million. Folks, this is nuts. She's not a real estate agent. She's not a huge real estate investor, developer. This is not her area of expertise. In fact, I don't even think the law is her area of expertise, except as it relates to carrying out lawfare. Lawfare. I don't know exactly who's pulling the strings because the Shady Pines resident who's in the White House obviously can't be. He's demented. But someone is pulling the strings, and we're left with these radical, far left liberal people who, if the truth be told, they don't care about us. They don't care about you and I. Most of them go home and they curl up. You know what they curl up with? Their degrees. They curl up with their degrees. I got a PhD. I got a JD. I got an MD. Look at me. I've accomplished so much. That and their dogs or their cat. I don't think Letitia James has any children. Who knows? She may not even have a dog or a cat. I don't know if they could stand to be around her. But you get the point. You get the point of what we're dealing with here. And they're just unhappy people, totally unhappy. They're trying to inflict harm, trying to tear up what other people have built. what other people have built with their life. You know, they haven't done a doggone thing in their life. They haven't built one thing. And that's why it's so easy for them. That's why it's so easy for them to tear down gleefully what someone else has put their blood, their sweat, their tears in. And not only that, helped a lot of other Americans out along the way. Now, I want you guys to take a look at this clip. You might know this guy. He's on Shark Tank. He goes by Mr. Wonderful, all right? And we're going to take a look at what he has to say about this whole bologna and not even a fried bologna sandwich trial and judgment.
But more importantly, the message about the American brand. You think about America, the reason this is the number one economy on earth is that we have laws and we have due process and we have property rights. It attracts foreign capital from all around the world. All of that is being shaken to the core here. The concept of seizing assets in 30 days on a bond number that's never been issued. No insurance bond company's ever issued anything near this. So there was no chance it was going to happen. And only giving 30 days notice and time, that's a really bad message. And I think New Yorkers should think well past Trump. Whether he's president or not, or whether this attorney general is gone in 4 years or not, it's irrelevant. This is case setting against the American brand. The most stable country on earth, anywhere, to put capital to work over a long period of time, particularly in real estate, is the United States of America. This is an assault on what we believe to be core. And I find it extraordinary. I think it's very troubling. It has absolutely nothing to do with Donald Trump at this point, in my view, and it is completely bipartisan. This is an attack on America. And I don't know how you can look at it any other way. And as an investor, and I know plenty of investors who are completely disturbed by this, but I mean, no one is going to put any money to work in New York in these amounts until this thing settles down. The whole world is watching, and everybody's waiting for one thing we haven't got yet: adult supervision. Where is it? Where are the adults in this crazy narrative? Certainly there's got to be adult supervision at some point. And I understand, you know, the war going on here and all the political yada, yada, woof, woof, woof. But we need an adult in the room now. This is the United States of America under siege.
Woo! He said it best, didn't he? He said it best. This is the United States of America under siege. This is not just about Donald John Trump. It's way bigger than him. It's about you and you and you and you, regardless of what party you're with. If they can do this to Donald Trump, then nobody else has a chance. I'm telling you. This is absolutely an attack on America. To go after a former president like this, a president who did not put us in any new wars, who was bringing our troops home, who had great numbers in terms of employment for all races, who eggs were $1 in my area, no more than $1.19, and now they're $2.99 for the same 12 dozen of eggs. It's ridiculous, folks. Give me a break. Give me a break. Now, let's take a look at another individual and what they have to say about all of this. We're going to bring him in and hear what he has to say about this travesty because this is not just about President Trump. If they can do this to President Trump, then they can do it to anybody. Nobody is safe, you guys. Nobody. It's not just about President Trump. All right, now some of you guys might know him. His name is Vivek. Let's hear what he has to say about this landmark civil judgment that is a victimless crime. It's a victimless crime.
The Letitia James crusade against Donald Trump is disgusting and is a threat to every American. When you have prosecutors who are elected to office on a promise of going after one particular individual as she campaigned on, then go on to keep a campaign promise using the legal system to do it, it's unjust. And this particular case reveals how ugly that is. In this case, you're talking about a crime for which there was literally no identifiable victim. The people who did business with Donald Trump weren't individual consumers. They were sophisticated financial institutions who made money from their dealings. And yet Letitia James is using a consumer protection statute to literally make up numbers and say, hey, you have hundreds of millions of dollars in penalties that you owe. You have bond to post by a particular date of an unreasonable magnitude that even no billionaire is regularly able to meet. And to say, if you don't do it, I'm going to start seizing your property. It's disgusting. And it is a threat to not only private property, but threat to the justice system and to the rights of every American. But the good news is there is an argument to push back against this in short order. And that's the Eighth Amendment. The Eighth Amendment prevents the imposition of excessive bail or excessive fines. And if there's ever an example that meets that to a T, it's the bond that's been demanded of Donald Trump in this disgusting New York Letitia James-led prosecution. This is an opportunity for the Supreme Court to step in and say, no, we're not going to stand for this kind of lawfare. Whether it's against Donald Trump or a Democrat, it's wrong. We don't want to empower prosecutors to be able to use bond and bail or bonds as a way of effectively achieving a goal that they couldn't achieve through the front door, which is bankrupting an opponent, even stopping them from being able to appeal those decisions. That's un-American. It needs to end now, not just for the protection of Donald Trump, but for the protection of every American. And in this disaster, I at least see
Okay. I wholeheartedly agree with Vivek. This is un-American. There were no victims. The bank, Deutsche Bank, comes out and basically says that they did not suffer anything from having Donald Trump as a client, from loaning him money. They gained money. He paid back the loans with the interest, and no one was harmed. Yet we have someone who curls up with her degree at night and pursues one of the great icons of America, someone who believes in America, someone whom America was thriving under, and she wants to literally throw him under the bus, under the New York subway. She takes glee in it. It's really disgusting. It's really disgusting. And I'm so glad that Vivek brought up the Eighth Amendment, because maybe I'm hopeful. The clock is ticking and time is going, fast, but I'm prayerful. I'm hopeful that something can come out of the Eighth Amendment to the United States Constitution that could stop this. Okay, folks, so let's take a look at the Eighth Amendment that Vivek talked about, okay? So the Eighth Amendment says this: excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel, and unusual punishments inflicted. That's what the Eighth Amendment says. So here we are, and they're putting this excessive fine, excessive judgment on someone who served our country in probably one of the most stressful jobs there could ever be in our country. This is the thanks that he gets. I don't know how he does it. I really don't know how he does it. He's really a strong man. He has to be. He has to be a strong man. A principled man. A principled man. Now, what I'd like to show you or add in here is another clip from someone who has covered President Trump throughout the years. Let's bring him up. Just hold tight 1 second. And we're going to see what he has to say. I'm going to make it bigger for you guys to see.
With much on a fire sale. So,
Charlie, good to have you here. You always have your ear to the ground. So where's this going?
I mean, listen, there's two stories here. There's the scary public policy implications of an attorney general essentially trying to bankrupt a guy that's running for presidency because she's from a different party over a non-crime. And let's face it, he got a loan from Deutsche Bank. Donald Trump is a blowhard, let's face it. But the bank did its own due diligence on the property in question and didn't have a problem. And he paid all the money back, or at least is good on the loan. So victimless crime, that's a real scary.
So as you guys heard there from Charles Gasparino there at Fox, okay, this is a victimless crime. This man has put so much back into the ether in terms of business, commerce, jobs, starting there, right there in New York and branching out worldwide. Someone who has built your state up, put your state on the map, state and city of New York, and this is how you repay him. Trump derangement syndrome, TDS, is real. It's very real. And I'm not sure what went wrong or where. Because right now, there seems to be an abundance of people, particularly who look like me, women, female lawyers, who are nuts. And I'm not saying every last single one, I'm not saying that, but enough. And this has to be orchestrated. And if I dug a little bit deeper, it probably begins with somebody whose name begins with an S. You guys can fill out the rest. But clearly, something is rotten in the state of Denmark. A victimless crime. The bank says, hey, no worries. Everything was great. We got our money with interest. We're very happy to have Donald J. Trump as a client, as a asset to our business, that we can do business. So we go from that to a Letitia James. Let me just pull her up again. We go from that to a Letitia James, who is just horrible. I don't agree with her politics at all. She's a very sick woman who is helping to lead our country into the wrong way, the wrong manner. If you look at New York and the various crises that they have going on right now, you would think she would have bigger fish to fry. And I'm not sure what happened. You know, I think it's great to get an education. I have degrees, but life is about more than degrees and titles, people. It seems as though these folks, like Letitia James, like a Fannie Willis, like a Tiffany Henyard, that they're just bonkers. And they keep carrying the water for an administration like the Biden administration that could give a damn, could care less about Black people. And not just Black people, Americans, period. It's time, folks. It's past time to wake up and to realize that we are dealing with demonic forces and that identity politics is not going to get us anywhere. Identity politics is not going to help us. It's time for all of us, look at me, all of us, Americans, to rally together. Because what they found out is the easiest way to destroy America is not from outside, it's from within. And currently they're using, their playbook has been to use, and I imagine they've been sowing these seeds for years, but now it's all come home to roost. And they seem to have targeted the Black female. And now a lot of us, unfortunately, are walking like lockstep, like automatons. One person fell over, the other one still going, falling over too, into the Democratic Party pit. I hope that you guys enjoyed this broadcast. Please do me a favor. I appreciate all my new subscribers. I enjoy bringing you content. It takes time to do it, but I enjoy doing it. I'd appreciate it if you guys would like, share, and subscribe and help us get the word out. Let's bond together, people. I don't care what race you are, what religion you are. I don't care. It's past time. Americans need to come together, or else there will be no more America soon. We are the hope, each of us. With that, folks, this is Nettie Nonstop.